Absolutely.
She's going to do just like a side hustle.
Yeah.
Throwing two things together.
That's good.
Yeah. Are we good? Good evening. If you would all please rise and join us and our special guest in the Pledge of Allegiance. On you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Well done. All right, with that, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome you to the September meeting of the Greencastle School Corporation School Board. All right. Nobody? All right, starting off, do we have any adjustments to the agenda?
Yep, no adjustments to the agenda this month.
Absolutely. All right, great. Moving on to recognitions. Mr. Robbins.
Well, good evening. This month, RidPath is proud to recognize Levi Powers, a first grader, as our Student of the Month for responsibility. Levi consistently remembers to take home and return his folder. He takes care of his supplies, cleans up after activities, and treats both his classroom and shared materials with great care. He works hard, follows classroom procedures without reminders, and models our school expectations each day. He's a trusted and reliable first grader who shows responsibility, not just in the big things, but also in the small actions that often go unnoticed. His teachers appreciate the way he owns his mistakes and works to make them right, always striving to do his best. He's a role model, and we're grateful for the leadership and responsibility he demonstrates every day. Congratulations to Levi.
This is Mr. Braxton Buttery, and we are excited to recognize him tonight because he is responsible in the classroom and in the school environment. He takes care of all of his things. He listens to directions and takes ownership of his choices. Mrs. Vernian says that she can always count on him when she needs it, so congratulations. We're going to come over here. Yep, you guys can come this way.
We have a backdrop set up in the front room for photos.
We're going to take you to the back room. This is Molly. Molly's wonderful. Molly's my 5th grader, and she was very responsible. She does everything that I ask them in the classroom. She follows all the school rules. She's just a wonderful young lady. She also does a little extra for our playground. Molly's idea. She came to me and said, volleyball. These kickballs hurt my arms. Mr. Phillips was able to get us some volleyball, but there's a stipulation. Molly has to take it outside and bring it back in, and we have to keep it safe. So she's very responsible, and I appreciate her very much.
And I'd like to say she's very outstanding at the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good job.
You're looking dapper.
Look at that clean cut man.
All right, I'd like to recognize Lauren Florence is an excellent example that she sets for her peers each day. She is a great friend to others, always offering kindness and support to those around her. Florence shows responsibility in all that she does and how she treats both peers and teachers with respect and politeness. What stands out the most is that Lauren comes to class prepared every day to learn, which shows her dedication and positive attitude. She is truly a role model for her classmates, and we are proud of the leadership, kindness that she demonstrates at our school each day.
Our student for the high school is Brandon Keeler. He was nominated by Mrs. Duggan. Mrs. Duggan said that Brandon is the September Student of the Star because he's always been responsible in his work and that he is spilling over into his personal life. He's always taken notes and done homework for her, and now he's displaying great growth and maturity as a person as well. She said no task is too small or too large for him. He's willing to do the responsible thing and see it through. She's very proud of the growth in 1 year from last year in responsibility. Brandon Keeler.
That's all of our student recognitions this month, but we have a few special adults that we would like to honor and celebrate. I'm going to begin with a couple that that we invited that were not able to join us tonight. I would like to read their names to honor them. First, Jane Roberson, 23 and a half years in education, but 19 of those being here at Greencastle Schools. So Jane retired over the summer. And then Julie Carr, 41 years total in education, which is outstanding, and that's quite an accomplishment. And all of them at Greencastle Schools. She was not able to join us tonight, but definitely want to thank both of those teachers for all of their years of service, of just serving kids at Greencastle, but all over the state, potentially all over the state as well. And then with us tonight, we have Mrs. Courtney Dickey, 18 years total in education, 12 of which were at Greencastle Schools. And to honor you, we have a little plaque here, if you don't mind coming up here. Join us. Give them a gold pass, so that way, you're still welcome to do a better test. Come to any school event. We want you to always continue to. Good.
Is that all you have?
Yep.
Okay, very good. All right, moving on. It doesn't look like I have anyone assigned for public comments, so we'll move on. All right, moving on to the approval of consent agenda, which consists of the meeting minutes of the executive session meeting minutes, August 25th, 2025, regular board meeting minutes of August 25th, 2025, the allowance of claims, financial report, and personnel reports, part 1 and 2. Mrs. Romer.
Yes, hello everyone. Twice a year, we have, or 2 months out of the year, we have 3 payrolls, and August was one of those months. So you're going to see 3 payrolls in your finance packet. First one was dated August 1st for a total payroll $396, $357.26, and then as usual, we've got some retirement and we have payroll taxes. And you'll see that total for the August 1st payroll was $120, $108.47. Our second was dated the 15th for a total payroll of $434, $527.68. And again, we have those payroll taxes and retirement at $125, $625.29. And then our third and final payroll was dated the 29th. Total payroll $498, $537.70. And retirement and taxes on that one was 151, 161, 14. Next in your package, you're going to see a list of prepays that you authorize me to go ahead and keep current, that were not recurring claims. These are prepays that we do, and of course we have quite a few of them because we're still working on bond money, that type of thing. As you took a look at the list this month, did anyone have any questions about anything?
Did not.
Okay, we'll go ahead and go to the last page then. The total for prepays, and it was a high amount this last month, $720,146.97. And once again, that has a lot to do with those bond payment type of things that we're doing. Next in your package, you're going to see a list of claims that's dated today, September 22nd. Again, as you glance through these claims dated today, did anyone have any questions?
Did not.
No? Okay. We'll go ahead and go to that last page. Total claims for September 22nd, 2025, $495,212.81. And then we'll go ahead and move on to the financial report. If you want to look at your fund report, the first line, 101, Education Fund, you're going to see the balance there is the first line. The fourth line down, you're going to see the total in operations. That's going to be Fund 300. And then if you look at the very last page of the fund report, you're going to see the balance in all funds is $10,287,754.60. Did anyone have any concerns about the fund report this month? No? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to the bank statement then. Ideally, what we want to do every month is we want to balance our total funds that we manage here at the school to what our balances are in the bank. We want to balance that every single month. And once again, you'll see that our banks are balanced with all of our funds as of August 31st, 2025. And as usual, you have given me authorization to transfer funds from bank to bank, and I have done that. You'll see that there was a $750,000 transfer, a $500,000 transfer, and that's basically for me to continue paying those bills out of certain bank accounts. So the total fund transfers that include the school lunch and education ops was $1,687,537.50. Did anyone have any questions about that? Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll just look at something that pertains to the bonds, Bond 2021 and Bond 2022. This is just an overview, and we haven't really had any activity in Bond 2021. We basically were just, anything that was coming along that we could pay out of there, we were going to. Well, unfortunately, the IRS decided it was going to be to them. So we had to pay some taxes on some interest that we made for Bond 2021. So we went ahead and worked with the bond bank to pay some of what we owed to the IRS for those taxes. So basically what we did, we submitted a partial reimbursement from Bond 2021 at Old National Wealth, and they reimbursed the corporation for what we paid out of rainy day, for what the total was on that. And then if we look at Bond 2022, just to reiterate, we're just holding that balance there you see bolded. That's going to be held for retainage, which we're probably going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. Okay. And then lastly, we've got the fund detail for GeoBond 2024. As you glance through there, did anyone have any questions about anything? No. And then lastly, again, that final column on the right-hand side, you'll see what our balance is. As of, it looks here like 826, but I ran it through 831. That's our balance there on the right-hand side. Okay. And pending any questions, I'd like to submit for approval.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Can I get
One thing, with the taxes on that, are we doing like a monthly payment or what?
No, we just paid it in full, and we
that is paid in full. Okay. So
we
25.
just made the full payment out of rainy day, and then I took that expenditure and submitted it to the bond bank, and they were able to reimburse us for the available amount that we had in Bond 2021, which was about $29,000, and then the rest of it is going to be paid out of rainy day. So we don't really have a whole lot of expenditures out of there, but we had to on this one because, of course, we don't appropriate for that. So that's how we took care of it. But no, it's completely paid in full.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Moving on to reports, the Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. McPherson.
Yes, we have some visitors with us tonight, some members of our TCC, our Tiger Cup Collective. We're going to share some things that they do. So if you want to come on up, we have our officers, and then Mrs. Frank is here as well. Oh, and Dr. Hale. I didn't see him back there. He's hiding. I'm just going to introduce some of our students. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Dessa Frank. I am the art teacher at GHS and one of the teachers involved with overseeing the Tiger Cup Collective, the student-run business that we have. And this is, I don't know if you're saying anything extra. So Dr. Hale is with us as well. Mrs. Jadelle couldn't be here because her son is at soccer, playing soccer tonight. So we have several of our student leaders, and we're going to start with Grace, who is our production manager.
Hi. So, just the basic overview is I'm a senior and I've been here since we first began the TCC. And we've grown not just as a business, but also as students. Because when we first started, there weren't many students. But over time, the interest has raised exponentially within student interest and just wanting to participate and be a part of something bigger for our school. So for example, one of the more recent things we have just made was some of our homecoming shirts. So this is one of our senior shirts, which we made several different types. And it's definitely brought a better atmosphere and just environment entirely, or just the school in general. So, thank you.
Very good.
And then this is the lead designer of Tech.
I've also been here since about sophomore year. I've been the lead designer for the last year. Back up that one. And just recently, I helped Ms. Frank make this design for cross-country.
So cool.
And we have many more designs on it. And I think Mr. Hammett has more of the cross-country. There's more of these available, I think, if you want to reach out to Mr. Hammett. I'm sure he'd be happy to sell them to you. They're $20 a piece. But yeah, sometimes the design was there. And then, do you want to? Oh, yeah. This was about the first order, and it was tricky learning because you were also kind of learning how to process it. At that time, we only had a small printer for the designs, and it was very slow. But now that we have the large printer, it makes work go a lot faster. Yeah. We were 15 minutes for this design, like 15 minutes for this single design when we first started, and now the design that Temperance has there, we can do 60 in an hour. So the equipment has made a huge difference.
I'm just going to basically talk about how I just got involved this year. I'm a sophomore, but I'm Emma, by the way. Sorry. This year I just got involved, but I've been helping out with actual production of it. So, just basically pressing the shirts and getting everything up. It takes a lot of people to do. So, just any volunteers generally helped, and it's just a great environment to work in. And then I'm going to talk to you also about how we're actually getting our shirts to people, because we actually created a website this year, and we actually sold all of our homecoming shirts online through there, and that's what we're doing for I think all of our orders for the most part, and that's where you can get the cross country shirts. I think those are directly. Okay, but yeah, and then also in the website we've also incorporated a lot of our clubs. We're starting to. And any of the registration and stuff we're going to start designing so we can put on them, and it makes it a lot easier. One of the things that we're doing this year is we're having a plein air paint out for the National Honor Society. And through there, we're going to be able to have people register on the website, and they can pay on the website to get them. And then following that, we're also going to have to talk about the expo, which we're also going to be on. Nora, I'm sorry. Also, next week you're also.
Yeah. So yeah, my name's Lenore. My sister's Rebecca. So I'm kind of like a student manager for the TCC and also a big part of the expo. So on the website you can find that there's an expo page, and the expo was originally kind of like was a really big multi-fold event, but part of it was to support the TCC, the business, and it worked super well. We got a printer out of the expo, which has like helped tremendously. It's been fantastic. And so we're doing the expo again, November 15th, from 10 to 2. We changed the date to be a little bit later for the time. But it's a super, super awesome event. It supports the TCC. It supports this whole idea of like student leadership. It's a student-led event. I'm part of that student leadership. And it's like allowing opportunities for students to be part of like entrepreneurship, business, marketing, design, and so much more so. Come to the expo and also just help support the TCC.
Actually, something that we've done this year, we really appreciate Yo and the administration, is we have now student interns that can now have class period during the day that is dedicated towards being student leaders in the TCC. And it's been wonderful to see how they have grown in their positions already, just a couple months in. We have students who are taking full charge of equipment that's pretty technical. And even though that might not be equipment that they're going to use in a specific job, just that problem-solving skills that they're developing has just been amazing. And seeing it grow one important step further into a student-led business with the teachers just being kind of there to help. And it's been an awesome step. So I think that's been very valuable this year.
And just to wrap up, I guess one other thing we need to say is there's been a learning curve for us going from free programs like Inkscape and GIMP to the Adobe Suite, and we are so thankful for it. So we're really thankful to have that high-end software that students are getting experience using equipment and software that they would use in that professional environment. So our students are going to be a step ahead going into the workforce if that's what they want to do, or going into art school. We have the Wacom tablets, we have the Adobe Suite, and we're working through some transition period of differences in the software, but it's been really wonderful. It helped us out a lot with our the senior banners that we did this year, streamlining that process, and it's just, we really enjoyed that. So.
Because you were talking about senior banners, talk about the ones like hanging on the side of the back and alley.
Yes, all of the senior banners except for football and volleyball, we created those within the TCC. So we designed the banner. We didn't take all the photos. Some of the teams had Piper Baxter come in and take photos. Some of them we took as well. So they're learning all facets of those things.
Are we pairing with, are we giving the opportunity to check out some of the schools like Owen Valley, Brown County, White River Valley that are already doing these things?
Yeah, so we've sent several team members down to Owen Valley, and it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because we're actually taking a trip. Becky, Yolanda, Selena, and I are going down to Owen Valley High School tomorrow.
Chris is wonderful. She's great. That's a good one to go to. Brown County is good too if you get the chance to go there.
Yeah. We took some students on a field trip there last year. Yeah. And it was really nice for our students to interact with their students and see that process.
Great.
About how many students do you have involved with this program?
Just kind of like some different ones, like there's a design team, manufacturing team, there's lots of different parts. And so, and then I think we talked about it, how we have volunteers sometimes that just kind of volunteer and help, generally with the manufacturing, like production part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we have lots of different classes to do it.
Very nice. And this is like a class during the daytime that you take, or is this an extracurricular thing? How does that work?
That's both.
That their class period is their internship.
Uh-huh.
Their internship for manufacturing production, stuff like that. And then there's lots of just, people who got some work done in a class and come next door and they work on something. And so it's quite cool. Availability to students.
Are they interviewing and applying for these positions?
We hope to get to that someday. We hope to get to that. We're not quite there yet. Right now, so like Temperance and Grace and Flora, they have all taken classes with either myself, Mrs. Bell, or Dr. Hale, or all three of us sometimes in some cases. So they've had design experience or engineering experience, finance experience within those courses, and then those are our students who are our student interns right now. And then hopefully training up the next generation like Emma and other students that are kind of in those entry-level classes and working their way up to be those
This is a good pass. I assume you'll send us the invite for the expo?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Very cool.
Actually, probably.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What an outstanding opportunity and a program you guys have going here. Kudos. Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm also going to invite Ms. Knoll and Mr. Roberts. They are going to give an update on one of our district goals. They are facilitating our goal number 5.
Okay, so our goal number 5 was to create a student-focused environment that promotes independence, self-discovery, and productive citizenship. And so one of the things that we talk a lot about in our administrative meetings is just creating that climate and that culture within our building that kids want to come to school, where staff want to come to work, where it's a fun and it's an exciting place to be, but it's also a safe place. And so some of the ways that we do that are through our character education programs and through some of the recognition programs. And so you guys get to see this each month with our district-wide character trait list, but it took some intentional planning to get us here. So with our district-wide character trait list, the Student of the Month nominations are based on specific character traits that are consistent throughout each of our schools. So we've already identified the character trait list that's consistent across all of our buildings. Those character trait lists align with character education programs. So the second steps curriculum that's used in all of the buildings. And the primary buildings, our counselors have a special area like library, art, music, called Character Club at Deer Meadow. And so they're aligning, this month we're talking about responsibility, this kind of thing. One of the areas that we're still working on is just consistently defining what those character traits look like at each level. And so obviously responsibility, in a primary building is going to look a lot different than what responsibility in the high school looks like, and really trying to be intentional about what it looks like at each age group and what our expectations look like.
Yeah, and I think when we first started this whole process, like that word consistency and alignment through all of the goals is making sure, we all know our end goal is to send students out to whatever that next step is, and really being consistent K-12 was important to us. And so I think it was a really positive step. I always love hearing the students of the month and how, we're all focused on responsibility this month. Like Mrs. Knoll said, that looks different at every level, and so that's why that's our next step. The other part of this was creating a district-wide PBIS plan. So initially, I think that we were thinking like it looking very similar at each level, but it's also very different at the primary level versus the high school level. So we are still, working towards consistency, but having our own plan at each of the different levels. And so I know TZ has worked hard this last year on Their house program, that's new for them. Currently, Red Path and Deer Meadow, we've had STAR behavior for 15 plus years, and so we're looking at kind of transitioning that to earning your stripes, being a little bit more connected to the Tiger Cubs, but having consistency between our buildings because our students will then be going to TZ, so we want to make sure that we're experience and making sure that we're sending students that are set up for success for TZ, and then they're doing the same connection. They send to the middle school. So, any questions?
No, but I think kind of just to piggy off back about what the Tiger Cub Collective did, I think there is value, and Lagodi does a very good job, I think, like with the interview process and ingraining their traits throughout the district wide by doing that and starting it at the elementary school and then having them lead to that point where they get to the high school and they're interviewing for jobs to prepare them before offer. But if we could, I think it'd be an excellent opportunity for the district as a whole to kind of take that in, and if there's a way to model it down, I think that's an excellent opportunity as well.
And I think that's one of the things that we talked a lot about, having that same core characteristic.
Yeah.
We're all going to teach it, but what motivates our 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds is going to obviously be very different than the 17-year-olds.
For sure. Well done.
Thank you, folks.
I just have a couple of assessment updates. Our 3rd through 8th grade students will be taking the iLearn Checkpoint 1 for ELA and math in the next couple of weeks. The window is open, but the windows for their assessments are kind of flexible because it depends on when they're finishing up the teaching of those standards. Because we want to make sure that the students have been taught those standards before we assess it on them. And then through our IXL program that we pay for, it is actually going to integrate their iLearn Checkpoint scores, like their data, into IXL and create a learning path for each student so that they can practice those skills that they may have deficits in to help prepare them for the summative in April. So that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. And then also the month of October is a big PSAT and SAT month in our high school. So we'll be getting those assessments finished. Any questions on this? And then finally, I want to congratulate, we had 13 high school students who were recognized by the College Board as part of their 2025 National Recognition Program. And these students qualified through their exam scores and their GPA. I know the high school shared it on their social media, a little slideshow with them. So we're very excited to congratulate those students.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm also thankful that Checkpoint 1 that we're kind of testing towards the end of the window because
Yes.
with the transition to Power School, with accommodations, our staff and team had to also navigate that because the rollout was not smooth, but our team's been working hard to make sure that the kids get the right accommodations from the assessment. So continue to kind of work through that as well.
Okay, very good.
And then for my report this month, just a couple of brief items. It's really kind of hard to believe, but the end of the 9 weeks is upcoming in just a couple of weeks, and fall break take place the week of October 13th through 17th. So everyone's been working hard, so they'll be able to get a nice little rest break here soon. We released our new promotional video. I shared that with the board, and we pushed that out through our social media channels and through Parent Square. Just a great opportunity just to highlight all the different types of activities and things that we do well here at Greencastle Schools, from preschool on up to high school. So as we move forward, we want to continue to kind of showcase what a Tiger Cup is and everything that is involved in that. And then obviously last Friday was homecoming, and I'll tell you what, this was a homecoming, one of the better homecomings in the past few years.
That's right.
It helps that we got to win Friday night. It's a great thing that we got to win on Friday night.
That W was nice.
But just the renewed sense of pride and just the activities that took place. from teaching kids what a pep session or a pep rally looks like, because some of these kids didn't get to experience that because they were impacted by the COVID years. So just kind of teaching them what that is and how to have fun. To talk with Mrs. Goodpasture, I think we had like 180 kids show up to the homecoming dance on Saturday, and that took a lot of time and organizing from staff members to volunteer their time to come in. And obviously, the kids being involved in that as well. And then we had our second annual staff tailgate out at the middle school. We served 115 people this year. That's an increase from last year. So it's just nice to see just the different buildings come together and just have just some good fellowship and conversation before going over to cheer on the Tiger Cubs. So we had an impressive crowd too. So I'm glad that we didn't disappoint and were able to celebrate with a win. So just a few updates that I have this month.
Very good.
I do want to say that my kids in the high school were very appreciative and loved the pep rally, pep session that the high school did. Both of the boys were super excited about it and said it was very well done. So kudos again, just to.
Excellent, excellent. I heard they abused the SRO though in the dodgeball tournament. Poor Mr. Hyatt said he took a pounding.
Called in the next day?
Yeah, I had to take a couple of days off for some shoulder problems. Might have to go see Doc over here, I think. Yeah, some problems.
So it's not just kickball.
Yeah.
TZ.
Outstanding. Well, thank you to you and all your staff for putting on some very excellent work here lately. It's been very nice. Okay. Moving on to old business. It looks like we have none. New business. We have a public hearing for the 2026 budget, CPF plan, and bus replacement plan.
Yep. So we had our budget workshop last month. We went before the county council to have the hearing, and so tonight is just another step in that process. All those documents have been posted in the required places. Next month, we will come back and ask for adoption of the capital projects fund plan and bus replacement plan. And I will go before the county council on the 21st to ask them to adopt our 2026 budget. And so we just have to open it up to take any comments from the public on those items, and if there are none, then we close the hearing.
Okay, we're going to open up the floor for any public comments in regards to this matter. Do we have anyone that'd like to come up and speak? I see somebody. Nobody? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. All right, and that requires nothing on our part.
Correct.
Tonight?
No action.
Excellent. All right, moving on to an approval request for 5-star agreement.
Yep. So Mr. Hill, our technology director, will be leaving us for another district. I'd like to thank Corey for all of his hard work and dedication over the years at Greencastle, just keeping things up and running for students and staff. But to deal with the transition, have before you an agreement with 5-star to provide managed services to Greencastle School District. In addition to Mrs. Robinson remaining a Greencastle employee and staying on our payroll and continuing to work alongside a new on-site technician employed by 5-star, as well as 5-star providing engineering services and technology coordinator services as well. Feel like we have a good team to keep things in place and keep things running the way that they need to in order to maintain services for our students and staff. Been working alongside them, Corey and Stacy, to have a transition plan the best we can, to outline things, to make sure we don't have any gaps. And that way we know who key contacts are. We know that what outstanding projects are in place. As we work through things, E-rate, we work through our door replacement project, all of those things to make sure everybody's up to speed. And so, with approval of this tonight, we'll have a team of engineers on site tomorrow to work with Stacy and Corey through the transition, and then we'll work to hire an additional on-site tech through 5-Star. We'll participate in the interview process and share that advertisement here locally, so we can continue to kind of build on the accomplishments of the past. And so it would be my recommendation that the board approve the agreement with 5-Star.
I do have to say that it's going to be big shoes to fill with Corey for sure. I've been with him a long time. He's done a good job for us. So thank you. Okay. Is there any questions?
Is this monthly total for 12 months?
That's a monthly total that we'll pay each month.
For
Yes.
12 months, sorry.
Yeah.
And then if we go over the 40 hours, is there a rate?
We won't go over the 40 hours. Yeah, we'll stick within the budgeted hours per week. That's how we operate now as well.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing no questions, can I get a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. Okay. All right, moving on, I have an approval request for permission to advertise additional appropriation.
Okay, so as Kelly kind of shared with you, the high-level details in the financial report, one of the things that obviously we track throughout the year is where we stand with our expenditures as they relate to the entire 12 months for the budget. And we've had two months already with 3 payrolls, and so we're tracking a little bit higher than what we normally would be in our education fund. We expect it to kind of balance out somewhat with our appropriation. So our total appropriation for the education fund, we're running at 68.57%. So if you think back, you take 100%, you divide it by 12 months, so roughly 8.3% per month. And so we're, just a little over 2% higher than where we should be at this time of year. And there are a couple of factors that can be attributed to. One is we're building the budget on our best estimate, right? We're building an 18-month spending plan in advance. And so at the time we were building budget, we weren't sure what kind of staff increases or compensation there would be. But in particular, when we built the 2025 budget, we didn't account for curriculum materials fund being spent out of the education fund because those were shifted in. And so this really doesn't have any effect on our cash balances or cash reserves. We're not in a bad situation there. We're still triggered very well with that. But what our appropriation means is an appropriation is permission to spend the cash that you have on hand. And so in order to get through the rest of the 2025 budget, we are seeking permission to advertise an additional appropriation of $600,000 for the education fund. That doesn't mean that we expect to spend the full $600,000, but we're just giving ourselves a safe cushion or safe buffer. And so much like we do with the budget, or not much like, exactly how we do with the budget, since we have an appointed school board, our county council is the body that actually would approve our request. But before we move forward in advertising that, I'm seeking our board's approval to begin that step. The county council will be required to hold an additional appropriation hearing during their regular meeting on October 21st, which will also be the same night they hopefully adopt our 2026 budget. So I'm seeking approval to move forward with that process.
Okay, any questions?
No.
Okay, hearing none, can I get a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second, do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. All right, I have an approval request for Athletic Corporation sponsors. Looks like McDonald's to Greencastle High School Athletics for $1,500. Can I Get a motion to approve that.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. All right, looks like I have several donation requests here. Looks like RBI Club to GHS Athletics, baseball, softball, for the construction of 2 batting tunnel cages. Looks like $13,675 value. Gary and Linda Huber to GHS Choir for $1,500. Jeff and Denise Sigworth to Greencastle High School FFA for $500. Jeff and Denise Sigworth to Greencastle Middle School FFA for $500. Excuse me. Peter R. Marsh Foundation to Greencastle Middle School Choir for $1,250. Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial, Taylor Farley to Deer Meadow for $500, and the Mary Allison Children's Trust to Deer Meadow for $500. All right, can I get a motion to accept?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? My motion will carry. Did you abstain?
Does he
No.
have to?
I said
Okay.
aye.
All
But
right.
does he have to? I'm asking.
Abstain.
Just because I think, aren't you putting money into one of those?
I helped raise it, but I haven't had to put money in yet.
I was just curious.
Not yet.
Keyword being yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll know
Yeah.
who to come talk to.
Yep. All right. All right. Next, we have the first reading of the Neola Special Update, July 2025, and Mr. Gibney's going to read each and every one of these to us.
As always.
So, as I mentioned previously, just an update to the last legislative session. There were changes in state law regarding these items. This is just a first reading, no board action.
Okay, very good. All right, moving on to other business. Do we have any other business?
I did want to say I appreciate the opportunity to go to the ISBA conference this past week. It was phenomenal, and I highly suggest the entire board and the superintendent's office to go next year if we can make it work for Rebecca and Jeff to go. I think it's worthwhile, and I think everybody up here would benefit from going. And the breakout sessions were great, phenomenal. I think great opportunity for us all on the board to learn and hear other boards see what they're doing. So just a quick plug on that.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Anyone else have any other business? All right. I'd like to welcome Dr. Case to his second official meeting. Well done. You handled it like a champ. Thank you, sir. Outstanding.
Yeah, I guess actually, really quick, we did have Stuart Wayne from 5 Star join us. I'd just like to thank Stuart for taking the time to come up here in case anybody had any questions.
I saw him back there, and I was waiting for him to just jump and run up here and take the mic and begin speaking, but
Thought I saw saw the picture on the contract too, I believe.
Yep.
That's good.
It happens.
It does.
It does happen. It does. Okay. Do we have any other business? All right. Hearing none, we're going to move to adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on that? Hearing no discussion on that matter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone oppose? Outstanding. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.